an incredible shot. Another hero maximum for McCullum. Gets on, keeps his eye on it, look at the head. And the hands respond. Makes it look very easy. Don't try that at home, I'll tell you that.
Tom, technique aside, how courageous do you have to be to do that?
You need an element of madness to be able to do that. But that now we see in T20 cricket, those shots pretty mandatory. Batsmen need to be able to play 360 degrees. We know that AB de Villiers is the original 360-degree man, and no one does it better than him. He is a very, very unique cricketer. But Brendon McCullum's not too far behind AB de Villiers with regards to his ability to, totally dismantle opposition. Very dangerous in those power play overs. We've seen some explosive innings from him. And the reason he's so hard to bowl to is that example of that shot is a great example of it. That wasn't a bad ball. That was close to Yorker, very full, just outside off stump line. And somehow he's flicking a fine leg for six. You're walking back to your mark as a bowler, scratching your head and haven't done a lot wrong there. And that's the challenge bowlers have to face. When you have the likes of de Villiers or McCullum or whoever it might be that are playing 360 degrees, there's no hiding place for a bowler. And you've got to get your skills absolutely right. And more importantly, you need to be more unpredictable than what the batsman is to try to remain a step ahead of them.
Right. Why don't we see that moment again? I think we'll be able to appreciate the technique that Tom just mentioned.
The important thing to note here is he doesn't take his eye off the ball. He's constantly watching the ball as he's playing that. So that takes courage and it takes a lot of skill. See, he's still watching the ball very, very carefully. When he's making contact, he's got his eye very much fixed on that ball as he flicks it over short, fine leg.
Well, the other good thing about this is that it's played there in St Lucia, which is, Moods and I know, is a very good surface. It's probably one of the quickest in the Caribbean going around, being slick and coming on. Moods, I think back to a decade ago when Sean Tate, just bowled at 160 clicks and some. He did this in Christchurch in a one-day international, because I think it was like everyone's been nicknamed it the Dill Scoop from Tilakaratne. This is, as you say, extraordinary. I remember that day of it going over the keeper's head for six and some there in Christchurch, because he got it even better than that. And of course, the faster you are, the further it goes, and it did off Tate. My goodness, it just kept going.
Right, and as a Kiwi player, Danny, in terms of innovation, always at the center stage of that, like Martin Crowe.
Well, yeah, there's different things, and Moods has touched on the uniqueness and innovation of Sri Lankan players, and I think there's different ones. Moods just mentioned AB de Villiers, Mr. 360 original, and you're right. The thing with Crowe. I know I tend to harp on this, maybe because I'm a Kiwi, but really I'm part Australian, as Mood to say, I'm living there, is that Crowe's other game that came out a long time ago, we used to have a league of it on a Friday night, was particularly big, was the Cricket Max. And so instead of the 2 lots of 20 overs each, Crowe did it with 4 lots of 10, because if you suddenly got Brendon McCullum get out for naught in the first 10, you'd see Brendon McCullum have another go and get another innings. So very much like the Test match, 4 innings, is what Martin Crowe was about, and I think he was way ahead of his time. But you see, in a way, it's got another hybrid to go of T20. I mean, you've got T10 now in Abu Dhabi, but you certainly could have Crowe's Cricket Max with max zones, hitting it back over the bowler's head. 6 became 12, 4 became 8. He wanted to reward good cricket shots. He wanted to reward in the V and say, that's good sound technique. Yes, you can do everything in 360, but Crowe was ahead of his time. I mean, that league started in late '97, believe it. So talk about innovation. It was extraordinary.
Right. So I think you'll love the next one. Why don't we have the next moment?
Gets it down to long on. Oh, brilliant! What a catch from, of all people, Martin Guptill.
Classic Kiwi in terms of a fielder.
Well, who said they can't fly? Kiwis can fly.
Exactly. That's one of your famous quotes, the flying Kiwi.
Oh, it just quite obscene, really. I love using that word too sometimes with some of these great catches. I mean, it was obscene. And Gut was about 6'2". He was a tall individual, and that as Mood was going about wicket keepers earlier, same thing for fielders. You know,